Believe it or not, I'm walking on air in the spookiest time of the year. Yes, folks, today we're discussing the greatest American hero, the superhero we all deserve, but Hollywood is too cowardly to make a gritty reboot movie about. If you're not into shows with a nearly 40-year vintage like I am, you might not be familiar with this program, so here's the scoop. The Greatest American Hero centers on high school teacher Ralph Hinckley, who is bestowed a magical superhero suit by aliens and then proceeds to lose the manual that says how it works. Yes, that's really the plot. With a minimal understanding of how to use his supersuit that leads to comical circumstances, Ralph assists his friend, FBI agent Bill Maxwell, in fighting crime and solving cases. You will see many reused blue screen shots of him flying precariously and usually running into things. So with that in mind, The Greatest American Hero can sometimes be a goofy show. But here's what I liked about it. At its best, the series is about a real-life dude who just happens to have a kind of unreliable means of saving people. He often finds himself in embarrassing situations, but he's not necessarily an incompetent guy. I enjoyed that outside of crime-fighting shenanigans, he had a life with his girlfriend, who is aware of the suit from the beginning, and his students, who he just wanted to teach. His partnership with Bill is intriguing, starting as a begrudging relationship and eventually developing into two friends who enjoy driving each other crazy. The actors were perfect for their roles and brought heart and humor to the show. The characters made you laugh and were sometimes beautifully tragic.
But nobody else knows what it feels like. I mean, when they gave me this suit, nobody told me anything about saving the world. How do I do that?
I'm sure you'll think of something.
What if I don't? What if I don't? What if I don't?
But perhaps most importantly, there's that sweet theme song.
Believe it or not, it's just me.
With all that in mind, you probably wouldn't think Greatest American Hero has a lot of material for a spooky Halloween episode. And you'd be right. While the occasional mystical thing existed in this universe, generally Greatest American Hero was about real circumstances that just happened to be solved by a superpowered suit made by extraterrestrials. And then you have The Beast in the Black, an episode about Ralph and Maxwell fighting a ghost in a haunted house. We start things off at said haunted house, which is going to be torn down soon. With the promise he can take whatever items he wants, and the idea to sell them to buy the school a new projector, Ralph scopes the place out. But there's some spooky goings-on here. As the helpful real estate agent explains, the previous owner refused to sell until she died, and shortly after, the woman who owned the realty company also kicked it in a mysterious accident.
She decided to come in and rip off some prize items for her apartment in Century City. Unfortunately, in the process, she electrocuted herself.
Oh, that's a great story. Sometimes you gotta laugh. Wheelchair attack! That was weird, but oh well. Ralph finds a safe and he's just dying to know what's in it. So he decides to go exploring later that night with his good buddy Bill. As you do. Bill isn't as into the idea of traipsing around a crummy old house in the middle of the night.
Oh, come on, would you get in the spirit?
You get in the spirit.
Oh, foreshadowing! With the aid of his supersuit, Ralph can finally find out what's in that safe. If you guessed this was a clumsy reason for him to be wearing it, you'd be right. Thank God I'm using my powers responsibly. It's just papers for an oil pipeline. Exciting stuff. While they're visiting, they start to notice more creepy happenings.
This is an awfully old house, you know, that could be real dangerous. You better put that out.
There's no fire there. Hearth is as cold as an IRS audit.
The scariest thing might be the clunky metaphor. Anywho, now that Ralph is wearing the suit, he can see things he couldn't see previously, because I guess aliens have ghost-detecting technology. This allows him to spy a hidden room in a brick wall.
Bill, you think I'm looking into the fourth dimension?
Yeah, sure, Ralph. That's a conclusion someone might come to. Say, Bill, do you think I'm peering into the future where man is ruled by ape?
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free.
Having been hospitalized and realizing his powers didn't work in the fourth dimension, Ralph is understandably scared to go back to the house. Unfortunately, his 20 to 30-year-old students have all gone there unsupervised because he asked them to help out. As you do. This has something to do with classes buying the school a present every year, making the most realistic thing about this episode the fact that the school is so criminally underfunded they gotta make students go scavenging in haunted houses to buy equipment.
Villicana, don't! Villicana! Don't do that! Don't!
Imagine, if you will, you're a high school student at Greatest American Hero High. In the middle of the night, you're digging stuff up in a creepy old house at your teacher's request, when his good FBI agent buddy, who you've just accepted as a thing, comes running up and is comically crushed by a chandelier. What did you do for your class trip, your mother asks. You have no answer.
He's dead.
Just kidding. Wait, so is it in canon that Maxwell was killed by a falling chandelier until a ghost raised him from the dead? Things are about to get silly. So what the hell is going on from this doctor's perspective? These two show up and Ralph's got unexplained welts they claim are from a wild dog attack, and then like an hour later they're back again and the other guy was squished by a chandelier.
Whatever it is you two are up to, could you do it in some other neighborhood?
Negligent. Hey, if this episode delivers anything, it's the fan service. Why the hell does Ralph give Bill his gun when he asks for it? He might not know he's possessed, but he knows he's got a head injury that made him forget pants a second ago. It's fine, I'm bulletproof. Oh no, I forgot I'm not wearing the suit! Check this reveal, guys. Ralph immediately guesses that Bill is possessed. He's doing really good with jumping to conclusions this episode. Too bad he couldn't predict that giving a gun to someone with a head injury was a bad idea. So, people can see his blue eyes, but don't notice a woman's voice coming out of his mouth?
And I imagine he's a very good shot.
My jelly beans! Well, looks like Ralph's gonna have to pull a new power out of his butt or fly around and scope the situation out. Just kidding. He visits one of his students' mother's hairdresser, who happens to be a psychic, to try and find Bill. As you do. Here are the many things we leap to. 1. The ghost is Sheila Redmond, the lady who electrocuted herself and died there. Why they say it's her and not the old lady who died? 2. The thing that attacked Ralph is the titular beast in the black, a spirit that guards the fourth dimension. 3. In order to save Maxwell, Ralph must take him to the fourth dimension, remove the spirit, and get him back out. 4. Ralph is out of jelly beans. This didn't help him find Bill, but it sure got some exposition out of the way. After using his powers to figure out Bill's location, Ralph's hair grows longer and the footage gets older as he flies to his rescue. Ah, another head injury! Whoops, I'm dead! Lest you start feeling sorry for this ghost as she begs to not be taken back to where she came from, they reveal that she was the one who killed the old lady who owned the house, thus making it totally okay to banish her to some sort of hell dimension. Who needs layers? William Catt being assaulted by a ghost in a haunted house. This seems familiar. Yeesh, this beast in the black is turning him into Thing 1 and Thing 2. I don't know how Ralph and Bill are gonna get out of this one. Ah, just kidding, you know they make it. Bring it down, boys! Just kidding again, not on this budget. Projectors for all, our school system is broken. So that was The Beast in the Black, a very bizarre episode of a sometimes silly show. It's by no means the best representation of the greatest American hero, but it was an interesting experiment, and everyone still put their all in. It was nice to see William Catt chasing ghosts pre-house. You could tell Robert Culp was having fun playing possessed, and there were shades of some creepy ideas thrown in. The episode has a fun atmosphere and is worth watching. And while you're at it, check out the rest of The Greatest American Hero, guys. It'll leave you walking on air.